Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Today is a very special day. It's the birthday of our Prophet Muhammad, and who was born 571 and lived to 632. And today, because of the special day, I would like to read something about the risale-i. This is a book. This is a tafsir book, interpretation of the Quran from the Islamic scholar Bediüzzaman Said Nursi. And I would like to read the 19th word because it is about the Prophet Muhammad. Said Nursi writes this: I could not praise Muhammad with my words, rather my words were made praiseworthy by Muhammad. This is by the poet of the Prophet Muhammad, Hassan bin Sabit. He says, I can't praise the Prophet Muhammad because he is praised. But if I talk about the Prophet Muhammad, my words will be gonna be praised. And that's how Said Nursi begins the 19th words. Yes, this word is beautiful. But what makes it so is the most beautiful of all things, the attributes and qualities of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also being 14th flesh, this word consists of 14 droplets. And I would like to read some of the droplets in the time you gave me. The first droplet. There are three great and universal things which make known us to our sustainer, the God, Allah. One is the book of the universe, a jot of whose testimony we have heard from the 13th flashes together with the 13th word of the risale-i. Another, the second one, is the seal of the prophets, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the supreme sign of the book of the universe. The other is the Quran of mighty statue. So we have three great universal things which describe us, our creator. And one of them is the Prophet Muhammad. Now we must become acquainted with the seal of the prophets, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the second and articulate proof, and must listen to him. Yes, consider the collective personality of this proof. The face of the earth has become his mosque. The whole world has become his mosque. Mecca, his mihrab, and Medina, his pulpit. Our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this clear proof, is leader of all the believers, preacher to all mankind, the chief of all the prophets, Lord of all the saints, the leader of a circle for the remembrance of God, comprising all the prophets and saints. He is a luminous tree whose living roots are all the prophets, and fresh fruits are all the saints, whose claims all the prophets, relying on their miracles, and all the saints relying on their wonder-working confirm and corroborate. This shows us how important the Prophet Muhammad is in the line of all the prophets, from Adam to Abraham, Jesus, Moses, and all the prophets that came. For he declares and claims, there is no God but God, La ilaha illallah. And all on left and right, that is, those luminous reciters of God's names lined up in the past and the future, repeat the same words. And through their consensus, in effect, declare, you speak the truth, and what you say is right. What false idea has the power to meddle in a claim which is thus affirmed and corroborated by thousands of and millions of people behind the way of the Prophet Muhammad? Seventh droplet. I would like to jump to the seventh droplet. Now consider how, eradicating in no time at all their evil, savage customs and habits to which they were fanatically attacked, he decked out the warriors wild and unyielding peoples of that broad peninsula with all the finest virtues, and makes them teachers of all the world, like the Sahabas, and masters to the civilized nations. See, it was not an outward domination. He conquered and subjugated their minds, spirits, hearts, and souls. That's important today too. The Prophet Muhammad, with his sunnah, with his lifestyle, with his hadith, is conquering the minds, the spirits, the hearts, the souls of the people, of mankind. He became the beloved of hearts, the teacher of minds, the trainer of souls, the ruler of spirits. Eighth droplet. You know that a small habit like cigarette smoking among a small nation can be removed permanently only by a powerful ruler with great effort. But look to the Prophet Muhammad. This being removed, numerous ingraded habits from intractable, fanatical, large nations with slight outward power and little effort in a short period of time. And in their place, he's not only removing them, in their place, he so established exalted qualities that they became as firm as if they had mingled with their very blood. He achieved very many extraordinary feats like this. Those represent the Arabian Peninsula as a challenge to those who refuse to see the testimony of the blessed age of the Prophet Muhammad. Let them each take 100 philosophers of today, 100 of them, go there and strive for 100 years, 100 philosophers, and we take them for 100 years. Would they be able to carry out in that time, in 100 years, 1/100 of what he, the Prophet Muhammad, achieved in a year? Ninth droplet. Also, you know that an insignificant man of small standing among a small community in a dispute matter of small importance cannot tell a small but shameful lie, brazen-faced and without fear, without displaying anxiety or disgust enough to inform the enemies at his side of his deception. Now look at that brain. Also, he undertook a tremendous task which required an official of great authority and great standing and a situation of great security. Can any contradiction at all be found in the words he uttered among a community of great size in the face of great hostility concerning a great cause and matters of great significance, with great ease and freedom, without fear, hesitation, diffidence, or anxiety, with poor sincerity, great seriousness, absolutely serious, and an intense, elevated manner that angered his enemies? His enemies called him, enemies called him Al-Amin. Is it all possible that any trickery should have been involved? God forbid. It is not by revelation inspired. The truth does not deceive, and one who perceives the truth is not deceived. His way, which is truth, is free of deception. Absolutely, he's Al-Amin. How could a fancy appear to one who sees the truth to be the truth and deceive him? That's the part I wanted to read from the risale-i of the Islamic scholar Badawi Zaman Said Nursi, which shows us the importance of the Prophet Muhammad. We have to understand the Prophet Muhammad, and we can understand the Prophet Muhammad when we study his life, when we study his sunnah, when we study his lifestyle, how he communicated with other people, how he communicated with his neighbors, with ill, with sick, with Christians, with Jewish, how he communicated in the world with even not only with human beings, but also with the nature, with animal. So if you look to the lifestyle of the Prophet Muhammad, if you look to the Sunnah, we can find very positive messages to our world in the 21st century.